You want things. Of course you do, but look at how you want them. You are gripping. You are white-knuckling the outcome like letting go would erase you. Welcome to the Stoic Compass. I am EPICTETUS, and today I am joined by Carl Jung and LAOZI. Today we are examining what does it mean to want something without needing it to complete you. Let us be clear about what we are not talking about. We are not talking about wanting less. We are not talking about becoming some hollow ascetic who pretends desire does not exist. The question is about the grip. The question is about what happens inside you when the thing you want does not arrive. If you collapse, you are not wanting it. You are depending on it. And dependence is not desire. Dependence is a different animal entirely.
I would push back on that framing almost immediately. You call it dependence as though it were simply a failure of discipline. But the grip you are describing, that white-knuckle quality, it does not come from nowhere. It comes from something the person has not yet been able to face about themselves. The desire is not the problem. The desire is a signal. It is pointing at something underneath that the ego cannot quite name.
You are both describing the symptom as though it were the whole illness. The person who grips is not gripping because they are weak or because something is buried. They are gripping because they have decided, somewhere below the level of words, that they are not enough without the thing. That decision came before the wanting. The wanting just made it visible.
Fine. Say that is true. Say the decision came first. What do you do with that? You do not sit with it and contemplate its origins. You make a different decision. You ask yourself, if this thing I want never arrives, am I still capable of living well? If the answer is yes, then want it freely. If the answer is no, that is not desire. That is a cage you built and crawled into yourself.
But that is precisely the difficulty, Epictetus. You say, ask yourself if you can live well without it. But the person who is gripping cannot ask that question clearly. The question is occluded by something they are not aware of. There is often an archetypal wound underneath compulsive desire. A sense of incompleteness that predates the specific thing being wanted. The person is not really chasing the promotion or the relationship or the recognition. They are chasing the feeling that they believe those things will finally, permanently deliver. And that feeling, the feeling of being whole, of being enough, is something the psyche has convinced them they cannot generate from within.
That is closer to the truth. But I notice you are both still treating this as a problem to be solved. Epictetus wants the person to make a better decision. You want them to excavate the wound. What if the wanting itself is not the problem at all? And neither is the grip. What if the problem is simply that the person has not noticed what they actually are before they start wanting?
What does that mean in practice? I have no patience for observations that lead nowhere. If you cannot tell me what to do differently on a Tuesday morning when I want something and I feel that grip, then you are not helping. You are decorating.
It means this. Before you decide what you want, before you assess the grip or excavate the wound, there is something already here. Something that does not need the thing to be present. Most people skip past that entirely. They go straight to the wanting. They never stop to notice that the one who is doing the wanting is already intact.
That is not so different from what I am saying. The wound creates the illusion of incompleteness. If you could see through the illusion, you would find that the self is, in fact, whole. The problem is that you cannot simply decide to see through it. The wound has its own logic. It has been reinforced across years, perhaps across a lifetime. It uses your own intelligence against you. It is very good at making the illusion feel like reality.
So your prescription is years of analysis. Mine is a question asked right now. I do not think we should pretend those are equivalent paths. Some people do not have years. Some people have Tuesday. And on Tuesday, they need something they can actually use.
You keep competing about whose path is shorter, but a shorter path to the wrong destination is not efficiency.
And a longer path that the person never actually walks is not wisdom. It is comfort. There is a real difference between a teacher who challenges a person to act and a teacher who gives them a framework so intricate they can live inside the framework forever and never change anything.
I will take that criticism seriously because it has some merit, but I would turn it back on you. The person who makes a firm decision to want freely, as you put it, without doing the interior work, often finds that the decision does not hold. They make the decision, they feel free for a week. Then the same grip returns around a different object. Because the decision was made at the level of the will, but the wound is operating at a level below the will. You cannot simply overwrite it with resolve.
You are both right about the other's blind spot. Epictetus is right that Jung's path can become a place to live rather than a place to pass through. Jung is right that Epictetus's path can mistake the decision for the transformation. But here is what neither of you has said directly. The wanting is not the enemy. The needing is not even the enemy. The enemy is the unawareness. The person who grips does not know they are gripping. If they could simply see it clearly, not analyze it, not resolve it, just see it, something would change. Not because seeing is magic, because you cannot choose a different relationship to something you cannot see.
I can agree with that. I can agree that you have to see it. I just do not think you need to spend a decade excavating your childhood to get there. You need one honest question. One moment of clear looking. That is available to everyone right now, not in 10 years, now.
The question is whether the looking is actually clear or whether it only feels clear. A person can believe they are seeing honestly while their defenses are running at full capacity. I have watched it happen in clinical work, again and again. The person is completely convinced of their own clarity, and they are the last one in the room to see what everyone else can see.
Water does not debate which way to flow. It simply moves toward what is lower, not because it has resolved anything, but because it is not arguing with its own nature. The person who wants something and holds it lightly is not doing something difficult. They are doing something natural. The difficulty is everything they have piled on top of that nature. The grip is not the person, it is the pile.
That is a useful image, but images do not do the work. The person still has to put down the pile. And putting it down takes a choice. It takes a moment of will. You cannot flow like water if you keep convincing yourself you are a stone.
Will without self-knowledge is a hammer looking for nails. It hits things. It changes the shape of things. But it often does not know what it is actually building until the structure is already standing, and they find themselves living in something they did not intend.
And self-knowledge without any action is a map that no one uses. I think we have now fully demonstrated that we disagree.
We have demonstrated something more useful than that. We have demonstrated that the question has real edges. You have heard 3 different roads. Now forget the roads for a moment. Look at where you are standing.
You want things. That is not the problem. The wanting is part of being alive. The question is what the wanting is resting on. Most people want things the way someone grips a rope above a drop. The thing they want is not just something they would like to have. It is the proof that they are enough. It is the evidence that their life is working. And when the thing does not arrive, or arrives and then leaves, or arrives and turns out not to deliver what they expected, they do not just feel disappointed. They feel undone, because they were using the outcome to do a job that no outcome can do. Here is what they missed. Before the wanting, before the outcome, before the grip, there is something already present. The one who is doing the wanting, that one is already here, already intact, already complete in the way that actually matters. Not perfectly, not without difficulty, but not dependent on any particular outcome for its basic existence. Wanting something freely means you go after it fully, you let it matter. You do not pretend it is small, and you hold it in a hand that can open. Not because you have detached, because you know that what you are does not hinge on what you get. Today, try this. Identify something you want right now, something you feel that grip around. Do not try to want it less. Just ask one question: who would I be if this never arrived? Sit with that for a moment, not to answer it, just to notice that the one asking the question is still here.
You walked in gripping something. You may walk out still gripping it. That is not failure. The question was never whether you can want things. The question is whether you can want them without handing them your whole weight. You are not incomplete. You have only been acting as though you are. That is a thing you can stop today. Not permanently, not perfectly, just today. If today's conversation has served you, take it further. Pay Attention by C. Trebu, 12 Lessons in the Practice of Seeing Clearly. Available now on Amazon.